Hit it, boys. What are you talking about?
Hey, everybody. Welcome into The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. This is episode 129. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. How you guys doing? Hope you guys had a great spring break.
Spring break. Well, it is spring.
It is spring. Yeah, last week I had a chance to get out to Akihabara out here in in the Tokyo area. So yeah, I had some fun going to the retro gaming shops, and I did some shorts videos for the YouTube channel, and please go and check those out. But yeah, it was fun. But I mean, it's not the same. It was the first time I had gone out there since pre-COVID, and it just a lot of the stores are just little by little just disappearing. I mean, you use Super Potato is obviously still there, and you got Yodobashi Akiba, which is the big store for electronics in general. But I mean, a lot of the stores that they used to have are kind of closing up, so it's a little sad, but still, it was fun to get out there and head over to Super Potato and everything. But anyway, so yeah, Burley, Carl, yeah,
spring. Right now it's summer over here. It's like been last couple of days. It's been like 28 degrees. Jeez. It's like I've had to like stock up on because I don't have my air in, and I've been trying to I need to have help get my air in, and it's like so I've been buying like tons of like popsicles and anything I can make cold just to survive. But I did see D&D last night.
Oh, nice!
Highly recommend. You will get a lot of laughs.
Cool.
And good laughs.
I saw it too.
Nice.
Fun movie. I think it's kind of like even if you don't care or like D&D, it just tells a good story. It has good characters. It's fun. It's exciting. And all the D&D stuff, like if you know it and you recognize it, you're like, oh, that's cool. I know this and I know that. But it is a lot of like really cool, just sort of like set dressing if you don't know what it is.
Cool. Awesome, guys. All right. So we got a great show for you. We're going to be talking about a cool little indie game that's coming out called Sea of Stars. We're going to talk about that. Yes, of course, Burley. Yes, he's got a lot to say about that. Of course, Sony gearing up to try to compete with Microsoft when it comes to cloud gaming. We're going to talk about that. Starfield. Of course, is Starfield going to have multiplayer? We're going to talk about that. Also, Redfall not having 60 frames per second at launch, as well as our topic of the show, the Final Fantasy 16 state of play. We're going to talk about the gameplay in it and all about Final Fantasy 16, as well as our picks of the week for the week of April 17th through the 23rd. So stay tuned for that. But first, before we get into the games that we've been playing this past week, here is a brief word about where you can find the podcast in audio and video formats.
Crew discuss what they have been playing. This episode of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast's ad-free version in audio and video formats, will be going to Patreon after being recorded. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry tier 1 level at $1 per month and get every episode including exclusive ad-free post-show content in video format when recorded, please visit patreon.com/thearena_podcast for further details. The audio version of the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, and in the video version will be on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. For the audio version, just download your favorite podcast app and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Podcast. where you can join and chat with the Arena Podcast community. And the podcast audio website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. For all information regarding the podcast and our entertainment and pop culture related content, along with our blog and forums, visit the official website of The Arena Productions at www.thearenaproductions.com. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena, AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at The Arena_podcast. Now, back to the show.
Okay, guys. About what I played this past week. I'm going to talk about my pick of the week, and it's very similar to my pick of the week, which I'll be talking about later, obviously. But I picked up my PS Vita again because it's interesting that there's been a lot of rumors and everything about Sony coming out with a new handheld device. So I started playing Hotline Miami again on my Vita. I love Hotline Miami and Hotline Miami 2. Oh my goodness. I mean, that game is so difficult. Hotline Miami, it's fun to play, but boy, oh boy, man, it's like you die like hundreds of times in each progressing level. But yeah, I just had fun with it. And I'm going to talk about the game that's kind of like a clone to it, which is my pick of the week later on. But that's all I had time to get to this past week. So Carl, I'll start with you. What did you play because you missed the last episode. So what have you been playing the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, I missed the last 2 episodes, but I've just been playing Persona 4 Golden and nothing else. I don't think I've touched anything else but that.
Oh, I see.
And I'm like 37 hours in.
Nice.
And I'm like deep into it now. I'm like full in, like I love it.
So 37 hours, you get that at that point, you get the title screen, just Persona 4 Golden.
Now, a lot's happened. The pacing is actually quicker in this game than in 5 because
all of
your side, your little like social link stuff, they're all really short. They're just like sort of quick little like anecdotes almost, right? Versus in 5 where there's like I don't know, they feel like little short stories almost at times. Like they're a little longer events. They're not that long, but like it felt like it took more time to go through all of those. If you really wanted to pay attention, right? You could skip it if you're a monster. You don't want to listen to their well-crafted characters and stories. Okay. But I can tell you that Persona 5, like you can see now that I've played 2 of these games, the formula is not changed very much at all.
No.
I mean, Persona 5 to the point where like I was like, wait a minute, you guys repeated this exact same thing. So like there's a character, I don't want to like spoil anything, but I'm not gonna like be too specific. But like, okay, Morgana, the cat character in Persona 5. Yeah. And in Persona 4, you have Teddy, who's like a bear, right?
The bear, yeah.
Right? And each of these characters is like your sort of guide to the other world.
Right.
And then at a certain point in the game, they get replaced as your guide to the world with someone else, another character.
Right.
And I'm like, wait, I thought that was just a unique thing in 5, but I'm playing 4, and I'm like, wait, the same exact thing happens in this game? That's a little weird.
Yeah,
like,
and just wait, when Persona 6 comes out, it's going to be something similar.
Yeah, right. Well. They'll have I'm sure Persona 3 has its animal character. That's
Persona 3, it's a dog, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but it's fine. It's more. I feel like it's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like it's fine. It's working.
Yeah.
It's harder, I'd say. Like it's more challenging. You'll die more, but it's not a big deal because in this version, I think maybe in the original version that didn't have this, but when you die on a floor in the dungeons, right? The dungeon is just like basically 9 random floors, sometimes more or less, right? Mm-hmm. If you die on a floor, it lets you retry at the beginning of that floor.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is fair, and I don't lose much progress that way, right? If the game, which maybe in the original version might have been like that, if you died and you started like at your last save, I would be like, I'd be pissed off, and I would like
that's how Shinigami Tensei does it is you die,
Yeah,
you go back to the your last save.
Oh,
And it's like, and
Yeah.
Shin Megami Tensei is way harder than Persona. It's like that's
Yeah.
why I gave up on that series.
yeah, and like I know that's the way things were when I was young, but like we've moved on from that. Like, and I'm older, and like I have more responsibilities in life that I can't take that type of thing anymore. Like if that was, I would have to just like, all right, I can't play this game. Like,
Yeah.
it's just not gonna work.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I watched a video of Persona 3 Portable versus the original version,
Mhm.
and that version added a lot of those quality of life elements to that game.
Cool.
So it is something that they've added into the franchise going forward. And I've gotten used to also the, like, I said a while ago, like all right, the character models like in the game are kind of like kitty looking.
Mhm.
But I've really gotten used to it, and I find myself like I don't always look at the character portraits. Like I'm looking at the character models, and I'm not really worried. I'm not really like concerned that they look the way they do as I did before. Of course, I prefer them to look, like Persona 5.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's and in that respect, another reason why like I kind of don't want to play Persona 3 if they're doing a remake, because Persona 3 Portable, which is kind of, from what everything I've looked at, the best version to like actually play, right?
Yeah.
Play wise, doesn't have any of that 3D exploration and any of the scenes with the characters. All the 3D model stuff is just ripped out of the game, and it's just character portrait talking to character portrait. And when you look at the comparisons videos of those, I'm like, damn, I really don't want that experience.
Okay, but Carl, you said you're 37 hours into Persona 4, right? So you're about a quarter of the way.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's shorter than Persona 5.
No,
I've heard 4
It's-
is like over 100 hours.
It is over 100 hours.
No.
Believe me. I mean, if you want to get through everything, it's.
I know there's like there's an extra thing. You have to do the social link with Marie, just like you have to do the social links in 5 with certain characters.
Yeah. Okay, how about you, Burley? What did you play this
I
last
actually
week?
was playing Persona 5 on the long weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
I beat the third palace, and then, boy, my complaints, something you were talking earlier, of just the waiting between of some of the stuff, waiting for stuff to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, it feels like I am just playing mash the X button simulator and pressing the start button for, the random crap for the random NPCs that are being like, today I had chicken, today is warmer today, just for all that flash text.
It's funny. That's Persona 4 is the exact same thing. Every day you go to school, there's like the random students you over here talking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they do it in 5. The school, even the design of the school, I'm like, okay, maybe this is just like schools in Japan all have a similar design. Right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, the layout, I'm like, okay, look, you got like a couple floors, you got a roof, you got a second building with its sports stuff here. Like, is this how all Japanese schools are?
To find out, play Lost Judgment.
Okay.
Another Sega game, I know, and you'll know.
Yeah, that's a high school in Yokohama. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of the schools have similar designs. So, yeah.
But also, I have been playing Fire Emblem Engage. I'm on the last couple of chapters. They really ramp up the difficulty in a good way. For a while there, I was quite overpowered because I've maxed out my bonds, and with the rings, if you put certain rings on certain characters and your setups well, you can really cheese the fights. Now the difficulty is getting up, which I do like. I've also been playing Resident Evil 4 Remake. I'm getting close to the end on that.
Cool.
I'm still enjoying it, but I can't, from as far as I'm in, I've got like 5 chapters left. I still say the original is better, but this is still a really good remake.
Cool.
I mean, what would you say, is better about the original?
The knife mechanic, first of all, is much better. I hate this whole, you have a knife and it's like a shard of glass. It just breaks all the time. So you're spending money because you will need the knife a lot. And so you have to upgrade, and they make knife upgrades, and then you'll randomly, as you're wandering around, kitchen knife that you can use twice before it breaks. It's like They really, and I do miss all the the melee attacks and stuff that you had. Like, you know how if you had a bunch of them Ganados and all surround you, you could do he would do the spinning kick and all that. So I would use those tactics in for to, keep my ammo, save some of my ammo. You don't have that. All you have now is if you shoot in certain spots, their face and they'll be like kind of stunned, and you can do one melee attack.
I see.
And it's like I do miss that kind of stuff, and this one really starves you more of ammo than the original.
Isn't there, like a parry system now in this, and then you can
there is the parry system. The parry system is nice, and on some of these bosses, you will need it if you are not prepared.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get into the weekly news beat. Actually, before we jump into that real quick, I just want to mention one bit of news that came at the end of the week. Of course, the Suicide Squad game was delayed again. So any quick thoughts on that? I mean, is it going to be doomed? I mean, I don't know. It's not looking good for that game. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think, man, what chance does that game really have? Like, what is delaying it gonna do? You delayed it significantly, but it's not like you're gonna rip out the things that people didn't like about it.
Yeah.
They're honestly just kicking the can down the road, hoping all the bad. Like, I honestly think they're kicking the can down the road, hoping all the bad press kind of just goes away, and then just relaunching the game. Because by then, everyone will have forgotten how Gotham Knights came out and stuff like that, and forgotten of some of the trailers of this. It's like, this is a game I don't want to buy. Like, I'm not going to buy. And it's like, everything they've shown me, it's been like, no. Like, I think the only way this game,
you might have to wait a long time, Burley, before you can even buy it. I mean, because they've delayed it into next year already. So
if I was them, I would be contacting Microsoft and Sony, being like, "How do we get your thing on Game Pass day one? Game Pass day one, PlayStation Premium. How do we do that? How do we do that?" Like,
Microsoft's like, yeah, I don't know.
both Sony and Microsoft are like, "Are you going to pay us?" Like.
Yeah.
If you're gonna make that deal, sure, but we're not gonna do that. Like, this is a game. Whenever it comes out, I don't think it's gonna do well. And like a year or two, it'll be given away on the PlayStation Plus. They'll give it away because PlayStation will need a game to give away. They're like, we can give this away because no one bought it.
Yes.
I have a feeling it'll sell worse than Gotham Knights. Because Gotham Knights at least is like has the Batman aspect. Like, people are like, these are Batman characters. This is
right. It's familiar to a lot of gamers.
Yeah. Now, Suicide Squad, people are aware of that as well, but I think there's less people who are like, Suicide Squad. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
Especially after like the two movies. Like, the second one was good, but that one didn't actually do that well because that IP sort of like lost its luster after that first film. But,
right.
Harley Quinn, I think I feel like they've overdone her, so I feel like that's not as much of a draw anymore. Everyone knows Harley Quinn already. It's not new.
Right. Yeah.
Plus all the characters being gun users. Let's be honest. If
Yes.
you're one of playing the King Shark, would I rather him be chomping and smashing things or him with an AK-47? Like, one member makes sense with guns. Deadshot was the one that made sense. Harley Quinn, you can, with the gun bat stuff, you can kind of see, but it was like, Captain Boomerang, yes, because he's a gun user. And King Shark is like,
okay, so
it's a shame, real shame.
Yeah, so we'll see if it comes out next year. So we'll have to wait and see. But
Rocksteady is going to get shut down. Watch.
Yep, we shall see. So next, so let's start the weekly news beat. So we did get some new gameplay for a game, an indie game that's coming out that Burley, you helped to kickstart, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And do we have some news about the developer developers of this game, Burley. Is there anything you want to announce?
Well, they have now finally, we've gotten the release date.
Yeah.
Canadian developer.
Yes.
Highly recommend checking them out. They did do the Messenger, their Sabotage Studio, they're called.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend the Messenger. But we got their new gameplay footage. They also announced it's coming August 29th. So we're getting it quite soon.
Yes.
And it's coming, and this will make Carl happy. It's coming to Xbox platforms.
I do know that already.
Yeah. Still, I'm going to make the announcement. PS4, PS5, PC, Nintendo Switch. If you're a Switch user, you have a demo. You've already given the demo, and I highly recommend. I have played the demo on my Switch. Highly recommend downloading the demo. I still can't believe it's only on Nintendo, the demo.
Yeah.
I really wish we would get this on other platforms demo.
Yeah. Yeah, so in this new gameplay trailer we got, the combat is the main focus of this extended footage that we got. So kind of like Super Mario RPG, players can time their blocks to minimize damage received. This extends to attacks like deflecting a boomerang to hit a foe multiple times or holding a button down to charge an attack. Other mechanics include gathering energy orbs to boost attacks or execute combos, and using certain spells and attacks to stop an enemy from using their best techniques. So as Burley said, Sea of Stars is out on August 29th. 29th, right, Burley? That's the 29th. Yeah, 29th for Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, PS5, and PC, and on a Nintendo Switch. So, and of course, a demo is available for Switch via the eShop. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it looks great, man. I love those mechanics. Like Super Mario RPG was fantastic. I love that game so much. I really wish that Nintendo would talk to Square and make another one.
Yes, especially how Paper Mario has lost a lot of its luster from the first two games.
Yeah, and it's not the same. Yeah. Burl, do you know in this gameplay footage? Above the monsters, that's not happening right now, but they had those icons. Is that like weaknesses to specific types of damage, I guess?
No, it's to stop there, because you saw like you have the little stop clock. If you to stop their special, like because they're going to do a special type move, so you have the different icons. So like between
okay,
I
got it. I see it now because I see on the top it shows the effect of the attack. Okay,
I'm not going to put. Sorry. I was going to say each of the characters have different attacks and different elements. So you can use between them to break those off. If you break all those off, stops them from doing it. And yeah, you've got, like as Expat said, you have the different, you can do the timed hits. So if you time your hits well, like the best one is like when when they throw the boomerang. Because it'll bounce off, it'll go to your party members, and they can bounce it and keep hitting it. So if you're skilled, you can get quite a few hits with it. So
I really like this a lot. I like that it's like, oh, you got to do like 3 hammer hits and 1 whatever the crescent moon thing is. Like
the crescent moon
magic, right?
Yeah,
I assume. I like that it's like a variety of different things that you have to hit to stop it. Yeah, that's clever. That's there's something I really loved about Octopath Traveler, that they had the break system. You had to hit them with specific types of damage to break their armor.
Yeah, and once you break them, you can just let loose the damage.
Oh, you just got spit out there. Okay.
Man, I love a creative turn-based RPG system, battle system.
Yeah, and they do have, the nice thing is, like if you play the demo, they have like these modifiers that, and I think they show it later on in the footage here. These items you can equip that give you, it's like a risk reward kind of thing. It like one of them.
Oh, that's super cool. Sorry.
If you fail the combos, you take a lot of damage, but if you do it correctly, you can unleash a lot of like extra damage and status effects.
There's the boomerang effect there.
Yeah, the boomerang. Yeah, this because I played, because I kickstarted this, so I got to play the original demo with this. Trust me, you can, like as you saw there, a lot of hits.
Faster.
You really want to time that well. It's so worth it.
I like that the enemy jumped on top of the other enemy and now they're combined. That's really
right.
That's clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this game look awesome.
And depending who's in your party, you've got the combo, because you saw there they did the healing spell together. So it really makes you want to really pick your party well and strategize, because if I have him in the battle, I can combo with this person to do this. But if I'm going in here, I want to have this for this combination. So it's really good because, like there are those turn-based RPGs. There are like, you can have 3 or 4 people in out in battle, but there's only the 3 or 4 you're really going to use. And most of the party, you just like, they're just there because I have to for plot. This is going to make you want to use every character.
Yeah, sometimes they're not balanced very well.
Yeah.
No, it's like Chrono Trigger, where you got combo skills depending on the characters. So I mean, obviously that's an inspiration for this game.
Yeah, and they do have the composer of Chrono Trigger.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. I forgot to announce that earlier.
I wonder if this is are they gonna have a physical release on like the small batch that they usually do with some of
they do if you want a physical copy, because I only did digital when I kickstarted and then realized, okay, I'm an idiot, I should get a physical for this. I went to I think it's called Baccarat, and I'll have to look up afterwards and I'll let you know, Carl, and I'll post on the video on YouTube for anyone. That's how you can order a physical.
Look at that boomerang effect. I just love that. Just getting quicker and quicker and quicker there. Yeah.
Can you order for Xbox is the question, because that's trouble. Like they recently sorry. Yeah.
When I did it with the thing, they said they didn't tell you what platforms right away when I did it. So you didn't have the option. They'll tell you, they contact me when it gets closer and they say, hey, what code do you want? What physical do you want?
Yeah. So Xbox recently made a change to their like sort of indie release thing for physical, where you can order, like there was one of the reasons, this is what people were talking about for a while, that a lot of these indie games didn't get Xbox physical releases, but you would see PlayStation and Switch, was that they needed to order like more copies, like more to sell, and Xbox like had a higher limit or minimum amount, and apparently they've changed that now, so that this will hopefully not happen as much, and that's good, because it does look bad when you see an ad and it's like, oh, it's physical release, and and Xbox isn't there, even though it is on Xbox. So.
Yeah.
You know what's even worse? When you see physical release, like for Cuphead, for example, for the Switch, there you don't actually get a cartridge. You get literally the case and a download code.
Yeah.
And it's like that's something I always hate when because I've seen like these indies, like you say, it's like, oh, I'll pick this up physical, and then I look online, it's just a download code, and it's like, I'm not paying for a box and a download code.
Yeah.
It's like, give me the disc or a cartridge.
So yeah, Sea of Stars, it looks great. Looking forward to playing it. So we'll be bringing you more coverage of that here on the Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. So next up, let's talk about the cloud gaming sphere, guys, because it looks like obviously Sony is gearing up for a new PlayStation cloud gaming. So obviously, and the link to the story here from Tech Times is below. So basically, the agreement, it was supposed to be an agreement between Sony and Microsoft with Azure, but I guess that just didn't fall through, or something about Sony not wanting to go through with that deal after all that's been going on with the Activision Blizzard situation. But so now Sony themselves are going to try to get into this cloud gaming sphere here. So they're currently recruiting employees for 22 vacancies in cloud gaming. Based on a report from 9to5 Google, this might be an effort for the company to extend its push to release a new PlayStation cloud gaming service, given that it is on its way to becoming the next big thing for the industry, obviously. So the job offerings include Director of Product Management of Cloud Gaming, 3 software engineers, 5 senior platform engineers, 2 technical project managers, 1 technical writer, 4 reliability engineers with a manager position, a DevOps engineer, a junior network engineer, a security architect, a senior business intelligence analyst, and a network capacity planner. So once they are hired, employees will become a member of Sony Interactive Entertainment's Future Technology Group, FTG. From their PlayStation Lifestyle reported that they will have the opportunity to lead entering the cloud gaming industry for Sony. Sony FTG also contributed to some of Sony's R&D, like VR, controllers, and several software elements. And then, of course, the article goes on to talk about Sony and Microsoft and the Azure that I guess has basically fallen through, and that's not going to move forward. So what do you guys think of this, with Sony trying to get into the cloud gaming market now? Burley, I'll start with you on this. What do you think?
Well, they've been in it for a little while. You remember they bought, I think it was around 2012 or 2013, they bought, what was it, Genki? The one streaming thing they bought?
Mm-hmm.
Just around.
Yeah.
Gaikai. Yeah,
Gaikai.
that's it. Thank you. I couldn't remember the name.
Yeah, Japanese pronunciation, Gaikai. Yes.
Yeah, so they've bought that and they've had that for years, so it's not surprised they want to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could be interesting. My only thing is like them for a cloud gaming, and there's people saying like they're going to make their own hardware,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like Sony with handheld hardware. I'm sorry, I like that. Like I liked the Vita and PSP, but Sony does not have a good track record there, because I would need something guarantees that they're going to support the dang device. Because once it doesn't start selling, Sony drops support quick.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Well, I mean, Vita was great until they stopped supporting it.
Yep.
It was a great handheld, probably one of the best handhelds ever.
So what was that, like a year? It was great?
More than that, buddy.
I think that the first 2 years...
I mean, there were indie games still churning out basically after they stopped production of the thing.
No, what I meant like Sony's support.
Yeah.
Like
Sony, I think it was two years.
2 to 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, that it was not as long as they should have done.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
This honestly, if I was them, get your own cloud thing, but you know who you should be talking? You should be talking to Valve.
Mm-hmm.
Get this on the Steam.
Yeah.
Get this into, and so you can get this on the deck.
Yeah.
Don't go into hardware. For them, I wouldn't go into hardware for this. I would just get the software, get your back end servers set up right on this.
Yeah.
And then just go that route.
Yeah, and of course, Microsoft is expanding their cloud gaming services. They signed a 10-year agreement with EE.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something else that they've been advertising after the agreement went through to try to get the Activision Blizzard deal done and all. But Carl, what do you think of this? Is Sony going to be able to compete with Microsoft in this space?
They'll stick around. Look, Burley brought up Gaikai. I mean, they did this much earlier than other people. Right?
Oh yeah.
PlayStation Now, if you don't remember, was basically just cloud at first.
Right.
I think it only was cloud. And then eventually they started doing you can download
the streaming part of it.
Well, no, they let you actually play if you had the service, you could download games and play them on your PlayStation.
Right.
You could download the PS1 and PS2 and PS4.
Right.
But PS3 was always only streaming.
Exactly, right. But before that, PS4 games were even cloud streaming, right? They weren't even doing that. So they've had this for a while. This is the next logical step. They really just don't want to be left behind, right? Because if cloud takes off and it becomes a big thing that people want, I mean, why they shouldn't be left behind? They were there early, and it didn't pick up for a while, and now we're at a point where it seems like it might, but we're not. It's not 100%. Xbox is pushing it the best, I think, at the moment. GeForce Now is also really successful. But Stadia was a huge failure. So there's no guarantee. And I don't think Luna is successful. I couldn't, I could be wrong, and maybe it's doing okay, but
I hear nothing on Luna, and that's not a good sign.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, they gotta be in the game, and you know the portable device. I mean, look, it has to have cloud support. You can't have a portable device that is dependent only on having a PS5 at home using remote play. That's awful. That's asinine. It's a dumb idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need this also to back up this potential idea of a portable cloud dedicated or remote play device, which is the same thing that people think Xbox is going to do at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean you don't want to just lug around a giant portable PS5?
Well, look, I would love to have a laptop style Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why this isn't an idea that like anybody they want to go ahead, but like if you were to take the Series S, make it have a laptop fold out screen and have it run off of battery power. Now, look, I know the actual process of making that work might be difficult because the power draw on from the system. But like if you could make that work, I would love it. I don't need handheld to like literally be handheld, right? I kind of want a portable thing that I can use, that I could set down and use a controller with. I'm okay with that too. That should be a market.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you have the Series S, the best unit. You can, it's so tiny. It's the best Xbox unit. You can just take it and go.
Burly.
Look, if you could literally take it on the go, like I just described, without having to plug it into a wall,
yeah,
I would buy one right away, and I would pay probably, let's say, $450 for that device.
Okay. All right. So let's move on. So Starfield. We're probably going to get some kind of Starfield Direct at some point soon when it comes to Microsoft, but probably pretty soon. Yeah.
Specifically on June 11th.
June 11th, yeah.
I
was waiting for you. I was waiting for you, Carl, to chime in and say the exact date there. Yes,
I need it.
June 11th, yes.
I need it.
Yes, of course, the Microsoft event, of course, along with the Starfield. Yes, but the developers are hiring associate level designers familiar with open world multiplayer games. So what does that mean? Could this be more for the Elder Scrolls Online? Could this be for the Elder Scrolls 6? Could this be for Starfield? So we shall see. But I'm going to read you a little bit of this article here as we look at some of the gameplay of Starfield here. So, So Bethesda Game Studios is working hard on Starfield, its next massive open world RPG, with a showcase set for June 11th. There you go, Carl. Of course, it also has the Elder Scrolls 6 in the works, but it was rumored to target a 2025-2026 launch, which may be even further due to Starfield's delay. So, nevertheless, the developer has long-term plans for both, and that could include multiplayer. A new job listing for associate-level designer appeared less than 2 weeks ago for the Maryland-based studio. Responsibilities include creating high-quality, open-world level content, maintaining legacy content, and making required bug fixes. However, it also listed a strong familiarity with a variety of open-world multiplayer games in its qualifications. Experience with the Elder Scrolls construction set or GEC is also a must. So I'll start with you on this one, Carl. Are we going to get multiplayer in Starfield?
It seems probable at some point there'll be something, right? Because I think if you look at the way modding has gone for previous Bethesda games, people have modded in multiplayer elements to those games. Mm-hmm. So it would make sense to just have an official version of that at some point come later. And I'm happy that it would come later. I don't want multiplayer to be part of the main experience of Starfield. Mm-hmm. If you want to, and I think it's perfectly acceptable because the game is robust enough, doesn't need to have that aspect, and that can come later and be another boost to that game for more players to come in and enjoy that. I mean, because look, it's a vast open, galaxy. I think it makes a lot of sense to have multiplayer in that.
Yeah, I mean, because this game is gonna, people are gonna be playing this game for hundreds of hours, and still not even get close to the end of all of the gameplay that's gonna be a part of this. So, Burley, what are your thoughts on this? Should Starfield have multiplayer?
You meaning I put 150 hours and I only hit 10% of the game?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Well, I would hope 150 hours be more than 10%.
Yeah. Well,
I
we don't
would
know.
hope.
We don't know.
But yeah, like you said, we don't know. Yeah. I'd like to see this have multiplayer. And like Carl said, this doesn't need this day one. Don't like this. We're used to these Bethesda games like Fallout, like Elder Scrolls, not having multiplayer. Take your time, make a good multiplayer mode for this, and find a way that fits in this world, this universe, and make a game. I don't need it to be necessarily like I take my 400-hour character and it has to be brought into the multiplayer mode. If you find a unique and way to do multiplayer for this, but it's a new characters and whatever way you do it, it's all fine by me as long as the multiplayer works. That's good.
Yeah, I think every game should have both. I mean, aspects, and multiplayer should be a part of every game like this, especially. But yeah, I agree with you guys. I don't think it needs to be there day one, because I think day one most people are going to be customizing characters. They're going to be figuring out where they want to go on the map, or in the star system and the star charts. They're not going to be worried so much about getting together with person B or person C and mining and excavating some particular planet. Of course, I'm referring to another game, which obviously this is much bigger in scope than that. But
that game promised multiplayer day one, remember?
Yeah.
And then it came out and it didn't have it. That's
right.
That's why I didn't buy it. I was hesitant on that game. It was like, and then it came out, and I was, because that was early on with the my channel, and it was like, it's like, oh, this doesn't actually have it.
Yeah.
They promised it, and I was like, okay, I'm not spending money. I'm waiting.
Yeah. So, Carl, I have one question for you here. I mean, obviously June 11th, we're going to be getting the big showcase and everything. How much more of this game do you think they're actually going to show?
Oh, I think it'll be a lot. That showcase is going to be probably pretty lengthy, 30 minutes, maybe, something like that. There actually was a leak supposedly of the time that the showcase, or the time frame of the showcase and the Starfield Direct.
Yeah.
So people are making assumptions on how long that might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they usually do that, right, with the Bethesda games, and there's a lot to say about this. So yeah, I think we'll see a good chunk, and that won't even be a lot of the game. So
right.
But, when it comes to multiplayer, one thing I wanted to say is like these type of games, for me, multiplayer is a distraction. Like if I'm playing this game, like I don't want to have even a friend like in there, like trying to tell me what they're doing in their game or doing. Like I'm trying to focus on like, the characters, the dialogue, looking at my menus and like my character build and all these things. And like, I'm gonna be just distracted by someone else in that. It's like, for me, multiplayer, it's not something I'm really into, but I view it as something like more competitive or like more short form. Like this is than what is a big, large RPG like this.
Right.
So you're saying you're not in for the arena Starfield team, the three of us just sit and play.
Well, look, I think that'd be great. It'd be fun.
That would be cool for us to have, at the same time, have the three of us playing together and doing a stream or something. Yeah. To do that.
Like,
that would be
jumping
cool,
into Starfield like day one multiplayer together. Like I'd be like, no, I want to play this game on my own.
Right.
Go away, guys.
I don't want to go to that planet. I want to go to this planet. So.
Oh, I can just imagine if it had it day one, three of us sync up the few times that we could actually sync up where all three of us could meet up and do it.
Yeah.
We'd be like, okay, we have 17 planets here. We can go. Which one should we go? I want to go there. Oh, I want to go there. This place got there.
Yeah, and like it takes us 2 hours to finally get everything situated and where exactly we're gonna go and what
Mapping
we're gonna
out
do.
our star map and
Yeah.
where we're gonna.
No, we all just go different ways, and like we're just not talking to
Just
each
gonna be-
other.
It goes different ways, and then the stream ends. Yeah, so,
We're just like it's just quiet.
Alright.
It's just us quiet, like playing the game separately.
yeah.
We're on 3 different planets, but we're all at a bar. A bar. We're just
Alright.
talking like there.
Okay. Well, speaking of another Bethesda game, guys. Well, not Bethesda, I guess. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
in the sense of Starfield, this game is completely different, obviously, but it's coming sooner. Obviously, Redfall. So, we found out that, of course, Redfall is not going to have a 60 frame per second mode at launch. So, of course, I want to get your guys' thoughts on this, but first, I want to get to the story here from Gaming Bolt. So, Arcane Studios has confirmed that when Redfall launches early next month, it will only have a quality mode on Xbox Series X and S, which means 60 frames per second will not be an option players will be able to opt for. On Xbox Series X, the game will run at 4K and 30 frames per second, while on Xbox Series S, it will run at 1440p and 30 frames per second. According to Arcane, a 60 frames per second performance mode will be added to the game via a post-launch update, quote, at a later date, end quote. Previously, the developer also said it is looking to remove the game's always online requirement when playing solo after its release. So Redfall launches on May 2nd for Xbox Series X and S and PC. So my question to you guys, and Carl, I'll start with you first on this one again. Should Redfall be delayed?
That was my initial reaction was, yeah, just delay it then. But they're not doing that. So I think then we have to then think about and what reasons that they might not want to do that. Because I know there's a lot of people who are like, no, they should just delay it. And there's no argument for not delaying it, right? But this is obviously much more complicated than just saying like, yeah, you can just delay something that is probably a completed product, at this point, and it just doesn't have. They just can't get the 60 frames per second to be, I imagine, stable, right? Like they probably don't want to. I'm sure you could play it in 60 frames per second right now on Xbox Series X, but it will probably have significant drops, right?
Right.
And they probably just don't want to put that out.
My question is, did Arcane ever specify that there would be 60 frames per second at launch?
I don't know. I don't think so. I know that they've shown it.
I
in 60
don't
frames.
remember them ever saying that in any of the the streams and stuff they've done and the marketing for it.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, in that case, then just release it. They don't need to delay it. If they said before, okay, yeah, like right when they initially, talk about the game and talk about the release and all, it's going to have 60 frames per second at release. And then like a month before, they say no, it's not. It's going to be 30. Then there's a problem. Then there's a problem. Yeah. But so if they never said that there would be 60 frames per second at launch, then hey, just release it. If you don't like the game at 30 frames per second, don't play it day one.
Yeah. But look, if you don't like it at 30 frames per second, you're probably not going to like it at 60.
Exactly.
Because it's still the same game. It's just it just might feel better to you.
Yeah.
But everybody reacts differently to like 30 versus 60. I mean, like I get if 30 is just like, nope, I can't deal with it ever. That's
then just wait,
right?
Then just wait.
But my experience is that when I've gone back to games that are 30 instead of 60, I get used to it.
Yeah.
At first I'm like, oh, okay, it feels different. But then after a while, I'm like, yeah, like I played games for decades on console in 30. Like, if you think like so many of these big games, like Skyrim, I played 30 frames per second. I mean, do I love that game? Is it one of my favorite games of all time? Yeah. So the game's gonna be what it is, regardless. It's not gonna be worse overall content wise,
Right.
I think it's very much like, I think you could delay it, right? But it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Right.
And Xbox fans right now, are in a place where any news that is perceived negative is like a big deal, and they freak out. And and so like, if
especially on social media.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
it's very tiring, because like I get you're venting your frustration and you want to tell Microsoft like this is unacceptable, right? But like this decision is bigger than probably what you think. It's not so simple to just delay something like this that's already begun its marketing and is probably, like I said, a pretty much finished product. So if they delay it, people will complain, and people will play that narrative of like, Microsoft can't release games, they keep delaying stuff, there's a huge problem, what's wrong with Redfall? You get that narrative, or you get, if they don't delay it, you get the narrative right now is that like, so what's wrong? Why can't they make the game run at 60 frames per second? And like, I have to assume it's the same thing as Gotham Knights. It's that untethered co-op. I think that's difficult.
I would agree, and you have the perfect analogy. Damn if you, damn if you don't. Like, to me, I've played, like you said, I've played games for decades. If I'm playing on 30, I'm playing on 30.
Decades, Burley. Decades.
I'm over 30.
For more than a decade, maybe.
Let's say 2. He's got 2 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
2. Yeah.
I've been played. We're not okay. Fine, we won't go down that rabbit hole. But
because I can say, I mean, I could say decades. Yeah, but yeah.
Okay.
and believe me, those games were not 30 frames per second. Those first games that I was playing then. So
you mean Atari in that didn't have 30?
No,
FPS?
not at all.
Some of those. Well, I don't know Atari, but like some of the old like NES, SNES, they're 60. They are because the simplicity of the nature it wasn't difficult to do.
Yeah.
But I know what you're talking about, Burley. I'm just razzing.
I know. I know. You're getting me back after some of the times I've gotten you. But like, I've played games that are 30 and they run fine. To me, it's a case by case. There are some games that run at 30, and like Carl said, I imagine this game is pretty much done. Just last little bit of polishing, and just making for a great day one experience. Yeah, and probably is that if they put it right now at 60, it would go. Okay, you're 60. A few seconds later, 45, 60, 45, and go to 57, and you will get the people that are way too into the FPS, where if they notice the FPS drops even by 1, they will kill them, or like kill Microsoft and Bethesda on this. Yeah. So they're like, you know what? Let's just go with a good steady 30. We can easily do 30 with the untethered co-op. Do all that, no problems, no issues. Just do it that way.
So the game comes out in May. So how long do you think before we'll get 60? A few months, maybe? I mean, that's the question.
I would say around 3 to 4 months has usually been what we've been getting from a lot of these other games. Yeah. I'd put my bet 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, and then of course we've said this many times over before. I mean, if you're a Game Pass subscriber, I mean, it's coming to Game Pass day one. I mean, so I don't think people are going to have too much of a problem with playing at 30 frames per second when, they're they have the subscription. Exactly. So we shall see.
Yeah. So it's coming in May, right?
Yeah.
June, July, August.
Maybe the end of summer. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, see, that's the thing. If it's in that time frame, you're saying 3 to 4 months. If they were to wait for it, then you're going to hit Starfield's release date.
Yeah, and you don't want to go up against that.
No, and that's why. Yeah, that's a reason why you definitely aren't going to do that.
So it'll launch in May for sure, I think.
Yeah. So I assume that's a big consideration. It's like when they think that they can get that mode acceptable to release. Yeah. It's probably a consideration of like, well, should we delay it? Well, where does that put the game? Yeah. So putting it out. And look, if it's a solid 30, right? If it's 4K 30 runs perfectly, and feels good to play at that, I mean, that's going to be fine. People are going to enjoy it, and reviews are going to, I think, reflect for the most part. There might be the few out there who are like, I can't accept it. But I think for the most part, reviews are going to reflect the quality and content of what's in the game, and not that it's missing this one performance mode on console. Because,
Right.
I mean, also a lot of them are going to play it on PC on review anyway. You know, and if you look at the two examples we got recently, which was A Plague Tale Requiem and Gotham Knights. Okay.
Yeah.
Those games were reviewed and not they weren't affected by the frame rate, right? Gotham Knights wasn't good for several reasons. Okay, not the frame rate.
Frame rate was not the problem there.
Right. It wasn't a problem, yes, but if it had all those other problems, that's why it got where it is. If it didn't have any other problems,
60 frame per second launching with that wouldn't have saved that game.
exactly,
I'm sorry.
right? And then Plague Tale Requiem. Look, it got good reviews.
Yeah.
Nobody was like, "Oh, it doesn't have 60, it's garbage." Like when in their reviews, that's not how it happens. It doesn't work.
Yep.
That way.
Well, here's another game that's coming out in June, around a little after the Xbox showcase and the Starfield, event. So, Final Fantasy 16. So, our topic of the show, we're going to look at Final Fantasy 16 and the gameplay from the State of Play that came out this week. So I'm going to go ahead and start that up. And Carl, of course, he took off because he's not into the PlayStation. So there he is. Okay.
No, I was just about to say.
I was offended.
Do you think they're gonna wait and get the 60 FPS update done just for when Final Fantasy 16 comes out, just so that way they can try and have a boost for Redfall then?
I highly doubt that. Don't change anything, but yeah.
Okay, so topic of the show, Final Fantasy 16. So guys, I watched this State of Play, and I watched all the gameplay, the footage, and the look at the characters and the areas that you go through and everything, and with Clive and all, and it's just, I really want to play this game, but it's almost, to me, this is just me speaking here.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like playing The Witcher. I mean, from what we see in this game. I mean, especially when you're going.
Don't do that. You'll make me hate the game.
Nah.
I mean, going.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, but I mean, like, going to the hideouts and stuff, and learning things about the surroundings and the world. These little history lessons that you can take and all, and lots of side quests, and battling different types of monsters throughout the game and all. It seems, just to me, it seems very, very Witcher.
Like that's the Panzer Dragoon type boss thing.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I think from watching this, what I'm really interested in when it comes to the combat is that ring of timely focus and the ring of timely strikes. A person like me, when it comes to these types of boss battles and these type of battles, really, really fast-paced battles, that's something that I'm really going to want to take advantage of in this game. So, yeah, I mean, being able to unlock all these different abilities, and then, like, there's so many different abilities. I mean, we'll see in the trailer here. I mean, you see this huge tree of abilities and all. If you don't know exactly what you want, you can have it pick it for you. And that's something I like as well. Throughout the game. When it comes to the AI, of course, you're the characters that are going along with you. Obviously, you cannot control them, except for the dog. The dog, you can tell the dog what to do, and how to attack. I mean, that's pretty cool and all. So basically, you're playing as Clive the whole game. So what are your guys' thoughts on this? Burley, I will start with you. So you're more the PlayStation guy here in our trio. So,
and I'm a huge Final Fantasy guy.
Yep.
So yeah, this I did like this showcase. I do have problems with Final Fantasy 16.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get it. They're doing a thing Clive only, but it's like, this is something I want to play as the other characters. That is something I do miss. And like this one, 15 had difficulty options. This one won't. In place of your difficulty options for this one, it's these rings that you were saying and all that for the timely stuff. So you can have those to turn them on for your advantage or not.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how that's going to go for like, if I don't use them, am I getting more EXP and stuff?
Well, they had the story focused or action focused modes, which
right.
seems
Which
like
you're supposed to
basically
select at the beginning of the game.
which seems to basically be like a difficulty, right? Like a beginner and a normal or something.
And what they're saying, right, Burley, is that Clive goes through 3 different segments of his life. Like one as a teenager, one in his 20s, and one in his 30s, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna have time stuff, and you're gonna go back to the past. They say where he was a teenager because you're gonna start out when he's in the 20s. They've kind of hinted, and you go do some flashbacks, which I'm all for that. You know, give me flashbacks into the character's past.
Yeah.
All good by me. Like the skill tree stuff, that was stuff they had in 15. You had all the different skill trees, like you had the ones for I think it was like the warp strike stuff for the magic and all that. So you could customize all that. So not surprised that they're bringing them back here. The because I can't remember what they call the summons in here, if they're eidolons or not again.
Icons.
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 Yeah, that's it. That was it. Those fights I'm really looking forward to because it kind of harkens back a little bit to the summon battles in 10. Where when you were going around, you would fight the other summoners, and you do summon versus summon. So you'd plan ahead. But the actiony, more going in the actiony gameplay, be interesting. I as someone that hasn't really played Devil May Cry, how well am I going to adapt to this compared to like 15 was action based, but this one is really going more into it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, just the way the setup is in this game, it's very Witcher-esque, I think. Yeah.
And like for party commands, like you said, you can issue the commands for your dog that you can summon and bring into the battles.
Right.
What about my other party members? Is it going to be the thing like in 13 where they're just going to randomly do moves kind of thing? Or is it going to be going back to 12 where you had the gambit system where you spend 20 minutes setting up the gambits, and if you know what you're doing, you set up great gambits for them.
And from what the developer said, you don't need to have played any of the other Final Fantasy games to enjoy this. I mean, I guess there's nothing about any of the story elements from the other previous games that you really need to know about, so you can jump right into 16 here and be able to enjoy the experience. So.
Yeah, but that's been true for the series for God knows how long, pretty much
30 plus years.
But most of the entries you can start in and jump in. There's a few I wouldn't recommend as the first Final Fantasy for you to do, but like you could still jump into Final Fantasy 1 and play it, or jump into 6, 7, pick your entry here and jump into the series and get used to it.
Yeah. I mean, this combat just looks so fast paced, and it just feels like you're going to be doing a lot of button mashing.
And I can just already see the Streamloots cards coming and my chat wanting me play with one hand. So I'm going to look like I don't have the PlayStation controller right nearby. I'm going to be like, trying to do with one hand.
Delete that, Burley. Delete that. That won't make sense.
You just got to be in the story focus mode, and then
that's right.
It's just one button to do combos. It said.
That's the thing. Like 15, I played the game on hard. 15 wasn't too bad for the difficulty.
Wow, look at that.
Because like 15, if you did a couple of the requests, you could really be power leveled and go through more.
Sorry, I didn't see all this. So like I'm reacting to some of these things for the first time.
Yeah. So here we go for attributes.
There you go, pile driver. So is Clive. So is at the end of this game, is Clive going to go to Vince? I want to join the WWE.
So okay, his pile drive. I think I'm in the. I guess, acceptance phase after watching a good amount of this, because I'm starting to look at it. I'm like, yeah, okay, I just played Hogwarts Legacy, and like this is Hogwarts Legacy, right? Like this is a third person action RPG where you're comboing stuff, right?
Yeah.
Now Hogwarts Legacy is probably not as deep of a combo thing, because if this is getting into your like Devil May Cry level of combo attacks, that's a lot more than I want, so I don't look forward to that aspect. But watching this, there's a lot of really cool looking abilities and attacks. I kind of I don't like the fast paced combos I'm seeing them do, where he's like splashing everything and spinning around, and it looks very, when there's a lot of enemies on screen, it looks very Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
But when it's a couple enemies here, a bigger enemy like this, the salamander that he's fighting, it looks much cooler when he's doing like the blast, the what was like a sort of ice looky blast, which is very similar to Witcher, where you can like shoot out fire and hold it down. And that looks cool. And he's doing certain ranged attacks in between, and a slash that does across the screen that hits far enemies away. And that stuff looks fun. I just don't want to do like those combos where like there's just numbers flying all over the screen because you're hitting them a million times. Like I don't. You don't
want the giant letter at the top right or left of the screen going D, C.
Yeah. I hate that. I hate that so much. I hate being graded on my ability to play a game in the midst of play. That's the worst. So like the fact that you can do the story focused and it lets you do some of these combos with one button. I mean, I guess that's okay. It depends on how it plays out. I will definitely, if I play this, it will be the story focused. I'm not going to bother.
Yeah.
Don't want to learn all these combos.
Yeah.
Maybe I could try, like if I did really like the combat, maybe I would like, all right, I'll venture into that at some point.
What did you guys think? I'm going to kind of focus this one on Burley here for you, Burley. The training stage area where you could actually, obviously to get better at your moves and your combat techniques, but also you can use this area to kind of like an arcade mode type of system. What did you think of that?
I like that. So that way, when you get an ability, and you learn it in the ability thing menu, and it's like, oh, I can just go here, train, test it out, practice enough, so that way I get used to using it in combat. I like that, and I'm sure you can have some fun there, just going back and like if there was an enemy there that I fought X hours in, being like, I really liked fighting that enemy, and unfortunately I'm not seeing that enemy more. Go back there and refight it. And now that I've got this, and try this style.
Yeah.
I'm just laughing at the enemy's name on the top right here. It's Republican War Panther.
Yeah.
It's just so silly. It should be Republic War Panther.
Yeah, they're a Japanese company. They're going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But one thing that we haven't actually talked about for this is it's going back to like some of the side Final Fantasy games you're not going over on a world map, going to place by place. There is like a little world map just showing you, okay, here's your options of where you can go to. You pick that area, and some of these places are big open world, and you explore for X amount of hours or however long.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that. Like, it might be fine. I'm not against that style. I just worry that a lot of those places will be like, all right, you're in this location. It's basically just like a combat arena, right? Like it's just walking here, fight enemies here, walking here, fight enemies here. There are some that they show where it looks open, and like where you had the chocobo, you were jumping around, and there was more. I like the way those areas look, because that reminds me of The Witcher and Hogwarts Legacy, where you have a big. I mean, those are open world games, and this isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And this hideaway, by the way, I laughed at that. It's hideaway. What is that?
Yeah.
And these character models, can we talk about that? Like a lot of the faces on the character models are a bit too simplistic.
Yeah, but
I know it's the style. Like
it's
it's the art style.
it's the style, but it's also these are your generic NPCs you're going to go see to get your new sword, get your potions, all that. And I'm not too worried. I'm kind of actually liking that it isn't a giant world map and all that. And I've got to walk for 2 hours to go get to this place because I'm kind of I've said it before. I'm tired of the big bloated open world. So just give me areas, and each area it's own different size and all that. Yeah, there's going to be the areas I hate and the areas I'm going to want to go back and really explore.
Yeah, well, another aspect of The Witcher that I thought is very similar in this game as well is like in this hideout, I guess we'll call it. Yeah, that you can take on like mob hunts and go after different monsters and things like that. So basically, like in The Witcher, you go up to those particular boards, and then you could take a job to go out and kill particular monsters and stuff like that. You can do that in this game as well. So, and of course, side quests.
Here we're seeing some of the maps. Sorry, that's actually you can see the size of which is good. Those look like better size areas, right? Yeah, and they look like there's a lot of different ways to go, because that's what I want. I don't want it to be a very simple like, all right, I go straight in this area and there's not really anywhere to explore.
So you don't want the Final Fantasy 13?
No,
where there's the long corridor and the one side.
Terrible. That was the level design is bad.
That was so bad.
There you go. There's the board.
Final Fantasy X, replaying Final Fantasy X, it is very linear. Most of the areas you go through, very linear in that game as well. See, this girl, like it's just such a basic looking character, and there's a lot of that in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like your side NPCs are all pretty basic looking.
Well, don't you think probably in Starfield the NPCs are going to be kind of basic looking as well?
I mean, from what we've seen, they don't look basic. They look to have a lot more detail to their faces. I mean, it's a different style. It's a more realistic style than this.
We shall see. Yeah.
But this is a very
what is that? Mike Wazowski there.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's the classic Final Fantasy anime.
I know. I'm just kidding. I mean, if he was green, it would be Mike Wazowski. Come on.
Yeah. But
yeah.
I do like these little tube thing. Yeah, no, this I was waiting because I knew we'd eventually get here and see your thing.
Yeah.
Where they bring in the classic 16-bit sprites.
I do like that.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That's cool. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, I am seeing a lot of this. I am higher on the game than I've ever been. With the exception of, like, man, these character models, some of these character models, I'm like, no, it's not good enough. Like,
come on,
put more detail. I need more.
Are you concentrating on the face, Carl? Or are you concentrating on the dialogue and the dialogue and what you're actually going to do? I mean, I understand.
I'm looking at their face.
I understand. Yeah, you want more detail in the face, but I mean,
it's going to run 60 frames per second because the character models are like, not very detailed.
Exactly. You get 60 FPS or character models. You choose, Carl.
Yeah.
Have they said this game is going to run 60? I mean, I would think.
I think they have said it, if I'm not mistaken, but it's been a while.
Yeah. Oh, there's
actually let me do a quick Google here.
Oh, wait, why is it called Morbol? Was this like is that a named Malboro?
Maybe.
Might be one of the hunt ones.
Night of the Blinding Dawn. And the AI thing, right? Again,
they have confirmed it will run on 60 FPS.
Yeah. Okay. I am less concerned about the party stuff now. The more I see of it, because again, like I said, like those other games, I'm like, this is what it is. I'm accepting now that this is just the third person, action adventure Final Fantasy or action RPG Final Fantasy, right? Where in those games you play as one character because you can't really play as a party in a action game. It just doesn't really work, in my opinion. I know there are those other JRPG action games that have parties, but I don't really like those at all. It's like in Hogwarts Legacy, you have allies, and they are just AI controlled, and there's nothing you don't do anything. They just do their thing, and it was fine. It didn't bother me. They actually killed a lot of enemies or dealt with a lot of things. So it's fine. It's I feel like you're not even gonna I don't think you're gonna have like the part of your party, right? You're probably not even gonna level them up in any way. They're just gonna be
No.
They're gonna be
So,
part of a story mission here or there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like the icon fights here, though. They're pretty cool.
Those are going to be a spectacle, you
Yeah.
know, like from the ones we've seen in this and like we've seen in the past little events like Square has done
Uh-huh.
and shown off the game. They look like they're going to be fun. Good old
But-
Godzilla style kaiju fights.
But I mean, Burley. I mean, have they shown too much though? I mean, because this was a pretty long one. I mean, it was like 25 minutes, and the last, as we're going to see here, the last 5-6 minutes, you see quite a few of those icon battles.
Yeah, they may have shown too much because unfortunately, without playing the game myself,
Right.
can't fully say have they shown too much. But remember, every time they're showing new aspects off because they're trying to get people in. Because there are people that I know people that are purely turn-based that will, when Final Fantasy stopped being turn-based, the series was dead to them.
Mhm.
So they're trying everything they can to show and get as many people back into it. And remember, this is only on one platform when this launches.
Yep.
It's only on PS5. So they're trying to get to as many PS5 users to pick up the game, plus get the people that haven't bought the new console yet to be
Right.
like, here you go. You've been waiting for the game to pick up the PS5. Here it is.
Yeah. We're seeing these battles now.
Yeah, they're
So-
showing a bunch of different ones.
Yeah. So and the developer said that there's more to come.
Mhm.
Yeah, because this game doesn't come out until June 22nd. So, how much more should they really show? I think what they showed at this state of play should be enough. I mean, I don't want to see any more. If I'm going to
I think this is the final event, right? I don't think they're gonna probably cut like some short trailers here and there, but I don't think they're gonna give you more than what they've shown here.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think they'll just re-show you stuff we've already
Yeah.
seen.
Now they're
And just
showing
put it
Fight
in a-
Bahamut. Okay, maybe don't give that one away.
Yeah.
Titan, but they're showing like all of them.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the thing,
I honestly feel like this is gonna get boring, like this type of fight right here. Like, I don't know.
If you're playing the game normally, yes. In my case, I know this isn't going to be boring because I know my chat and they love to torture me. So stream loots are going to be on and these fights are going to take me
Your
forever.
chat tortures you, Burley. Come on, man.
Oh, do you want me to list names so I can tell you which people?
No, I do. not. No, I do not. Yeah, so great stuff. So Final Fantasy 16 coming June 22nd. So we got the state of play. Cool stuff. So let us know if you're going to be playing this game day one. Burley, are you playing it day one?
Yes, I have my deluxe Steel Book edition pre-ordered. And I took the day off work and the Friday off because it comes out on a Thursday. So I'm going to go pick it up and stream it.
Nice.
I got to get the content for the podcast, you said, so.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll try to do an extra take on it as well. So
Oh, we will.
all right, so that was our topic of the show, talking about Final Fantasy 16. So it's time to move on now to our new game release picks of the week that we do each and every episode here on the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. So first up, Burley, you are up first. What do you have as your pick of the week for new game releases for the week of April 13th through the 17th? Actually, no, 17th through the 23rd. I'm sorry. So April 17th through 23rd. Yep, go ahead.
My pick of the week is Horizon Forbidden West, the Burning Shores DLC. Sees Aloy pursue a sinister threat in the untamed wilds of Los Angeles, now a treacherous volcanic archipelago. It's coming Wednesday, April 19th, only to PS5. And I know people have been upset with this because the game was crossplay between PS4 and PS5. So they say with some of the stuff they're doing, it can only be done PS5. I've already pre-ordered the game. This DLC, it's coming. You can start the preload on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So, very interesting to see what they do. And now, unfortunately, we've had the passing of Lance.
Yeah.
Lance Reddick? Are we going to get anything with Silence in this DLC? Because he was briefly in the DLC in the first game.
Well,
Frozen
I'm
Wilds.
sure if he had any voice acting to do, he probably did it before he passed.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Silence, the character, and how they'll address it.
Yeah,
with this DLC.
All right, Carl, you're up next. What do you have for us?
I chose Minecraft Legends, coming on April 18th to PC, PS4, 5, Switch, Xbox One, and Series S and X. Discover the mysteries of Minecraft Legends, a new action strategy game. Explore a gentle land of rich resources and lush biomes on the brink of destruction. The ravaging piglins have arrived, and it's up to you to inspire your allies and lead them in strategic battles to save the overworld.
Nice.
And this game has reviews out already. It has a 73 on OpenCritic, which is not great, but I don't know. It's the kind of game where I feel like if you're into this style, you're probably you could spend like tons of hours playing something like this.
Yeah.
A 73 to me is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a matter of, it all depends. Like if you're into this style of game, I think you'll have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have Xbox or PC, it's on Game Pass, so you can try it out without having to take any risk.
Yep, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Okay, it's my turn. So, like I was saying at the beginning of the show, this game is kind of like a Hotline Miami clone. Pretty cool stuff here. So let me go ahead and get to it here. So it's called OTXO. Enter an inexplicable abstract mansion to rescue a loved one in this fast-paced, brutal, and dark roguelite filled with precise but savage gunplay and time-bending slow motion. Face your inner demons and unveil the secrets of the mansion. Comes out on PC in the US and the UK on the 20th. So yeah, good stuff. Very, very Hotline Miami stuff.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure it's just gonna frustrate the hell out of me, but that's okay. I mean, I love these type of games.
It also gives me Returnal vibes with the running and gunning.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and all the XP and stuff like that. Yeah,
all these demons you're fighting.
Yeah, your sins.
Yeah, that's my sin. My sin is a salamander.
Don't
know what it represents, but it's a salamander. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Inbred basilisk.
Yeah.
So does that mean you're what sin's that? I wonder what sin that is for.
I don't know. It looks good though. Yeah. Comes out on the 20th for PC in the US and the UK.
So. Wonder if this is deck verified on launch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could probably run though.
Yep. So anyway, those are our picks of the week, and you can go to releases.com and check out all the releases coming for the upcoming week as well as for the entire month. So go and check that out, and maybe check out some of these games here. So good stuff. All righty. So that was our picks of the week. So now, Burley, you are up next. So we got some PS Plus games added to the catalog. So what did we get?
Alrighty, for Extra and Premium, we got Kena Bridge of Spirits for both PS4 and PS5. So highly, if you've not played that game, highly recommend. It's such a great game.
It's a great game. Yeah.
Doom Eternal, both PS4 and PS5 version.
Mm-hmm.
You also got Riders Republic. I forgot that game was actually
PS4,
PS5.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, PS4.
Mm-hmm.
And Slay the Spire, the PS4.
Nice.
You also got Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, PS4, PS5.
Mhm.
I know this one Expat has played, The Evil Within, PS4.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Actually, in Japan, it's called Psycho Break.
Okay. Did
Yeah.
not know
That
that.
makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's the title here in Japan. Psycho Break and Psycho Break 2. Yeah.
Wolfenstein: The Old Blood for PS4.
Mhm.
It's just a standalone prequel to the New Order.
Mhm.
And Bassmaster Fishing for both PS4 and PS5. So if you need your fishing,
Mhm.
Paradise Killer, PS4 or PS5.
Mhm.
And they also, even though it was on the PS Plus Essentials, Sackboy was added on there. Sackboy Big Adventure, PS4, PS5. I highly recommend if you want a good little, just fun little platformer, whether you want to play it solo or play with family, highly recommend trying out Sackboy.
Cool.
And for your classics under the premium, you get Doom 1, 2, 64, and Doom 3.
Nice.
You also get Dishonored, the definitive edition. That's the one that came out on PS4. This
Right.
original Dishonored came on PS3. Highly recommend the first Dishonored game.
Yeah. It's a good game.
Great game.
Yeah.
And that's what we got for April.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. Yeah, we got Kana on there already now. I mean, that's
Well,
that's
I'm
awesome.
surprised it
Yeah.
wasn't on sooner, to be completely fair.
Yeah.
This is one of the games, like, I know Stray was the big one when it launched.
Yeah.
This is one should have kind of been on the early,
Yeah.
like a first or second month came on.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
You know, they took a lot of Bethesda games.
Yeah.
You know,
Wolfenstein
feel like
too. Yeah.
Sony is saying one thing to regulators, and on the other side they're like, oh, no, but we want the games from Microsoft on our service.
No.
Yeah.
We'll take them.
Yep.
So that's a little odd, but all right, that's cool. I mean, a good bunch of games. I mean, nothing new, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Kana was what? Kana's like 2 years old, and I think Riders Republic, was that last year?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah, nothing really new, but like, I think it's a good variety of titles of just stuff. Like some of the stuff is stuff I've been curious to try out, but it's like, don't know if I want to drop $20 here for each of these games, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's nice if I can just try them out.
All right. So next up, Carl, we have some games for Game Pass for the month of April. You want to go ahead and list those for us?
Yeah, this was from earlier in the month. We had, but you know, I don't think all these are out yet. So yeah, we had Loop Hero, console PC. That game actually looks interesting. I'm curious about that one. Iron Brigade, which is out already now. Console Cloud, Ghostwire Tokyo, which just hit recently, April 12th, which is finally the Xbox release after the timed exclusivity on PlayStation, which also includes the new Spider's Thread update, which is also on PlayStation. So. The NHL 23 for console from on April 13th, so that's already out.
Nice.
And you got Minecraft Legends coming on April 18th.
Your pick of the week.
Yep. Day one Game Pass game.
Yeah.
And just in case you missed a Goat Simulator, I don't know where that came in. It's a Goat Simulator. I don't know what. I feel like some of that may have been already on there, but Cloud Console PC.
Yeah.
And
I think it was on and it left for a while.
Yeah.
It's just coming back.
So it's a smaller. Well, the couple, not as many games as before, but Ghostwire Tokyo and Minecraft Legends,
right?
Those
are two big
new
ones,
to the platform. At least both. Ghostwire is new to Xbox,
and probably next week we'll probably get some information on the beginning of May. Obviously, of course, Redfall is going to be coming.
I mean, next Tuesday they usually do two a month, right? So they did it on the 4th, and now they're going to probably do it on the 18th.
Yeah.
For the next one, there you go. Oh, you know what? I looked up the Sea of Stars thing before, and they did say that the Xbox will get the standard physical release.
Nice.
The other platforms are getting, so that's cool.
Nice.
And also, did you see that Spider-Man is leaving like PS Plus?
Really?
Or whatever. Yeah.
Really? I did that. I did not see.
Yeah, it's going to leave like PS Plus
it shouldn't, but to be fair, at this point, if you haven't played Spider-Man, like most people, if you wanted to play Spider-Man at this point, you probably have bought it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's not right for them to get rid of it.
Spider-Man 2 is coming later this year. What if you didn't play that and you want to play the first one before it comes out and then it's not on the service anymore?
Yeah. Yeah, we shall see.
Weird.
But,
I do wonder if that is, just Sony's thing that they're going to drop their first party games out of the service here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it, they don't own Spider-Man, right? It's not their license. It's a license IP.
Oh, yeah, it could be the licensing issue. But I will give them credit. They have been upping the demos, the 2-hour trials. They just don't really make announcements of it. You have to literally just go on PlayStation. Because, like, I've seen they've really been dropping for a lot of games that have recently just come out. They're like, here you go. Here's the 2-hour trial.
Yeah.
Get it? Like, I think they did one for Wild Hearts when that released. I'm blanket on the one game that just came out not too long ago. They did give you a 2-hour trial. So.
The thing that's weird is that these seem to not always come right away, right? They're like, a month, 2 months after the game came out, they're like, here's a 2-month trial. I'm like, but what if I wanted to? I should be able to try it day one and see if I like it and then buy it right away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you knew they were never going to do them all day one. Like God of War, I think took 2.5 months for God of War Ragnarok to get it. Yeah. And it's like, no, you should have had that day one.
Yeah. All right. So now it's time to talk about the games that we're going to be playing this up and coming week. So I'm going to keep playing Hotline Miami. I'm going to finish it again. and then I definitely want to play Burning Shores. So, excuse me. The Horizon for Burning Shores. I'm looking forward to the DLC there too. So the Burley's pick of the week. So, and then of course, my pick of the week. I'm going to delve into that as well. Burley, how about you? What are you playing this week?
Well, I'm going to be finishing Resident Evil 4 remake. Yeah. Try and see if I can get time on my personal time to try and finish up Fire Emblem Engage. But also be starting Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC.
Yeah. Cool. And Carl, how about you?
Yeah, I think I'll just be playing Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah, just chugging along, getting up 40, 50 hours. Yeah.
Awesome. I'll get through it, I think. I mean,
so he'll finally beat the second dungeon in the game.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, there's been a bunch of dungeons. The dungeons are they're all kind of straightforward. Just random levels, like 9 random levels, and just find the stairs and move on.
There you go.
Find the stairs, find the safe room, save.
There's no safe rooms in 4.
Oh.
Yeah, that doesn't exist, which would be nice.
Yeah.
I love those in 5.
Yeah, it's annoying because you have to escape the dungeon. So you have to use an item to escape the dungeon, which they have in 5, right? But you don't really use because once you get to a safe room, you can teleport back to the entrance, right? Yeah. You can swap your characters out and stuff. But in 4, you have to use an item. There's a spell now. Teddy actually has the spell to leave the dungeon. Yeah. But if he's not in your party, then you don't have it, and you have to use an item. And then when you go, you have to go and change your party members, and you can go back into the dungeon, and then it'll bring you back to the level you were on. You can choose to start at the level you're on. Yeah. But you're not as free to just jump in and out of and change your party.
So what I'm hearing is Teddy is best character. Always have Teddy in party.
He seems really good because he also has healing magic.
No, so. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still highly recommend the Danganronpa series for you guys too.
Okay, I'm looking at how long to beat, guys. Okay, it says main story 68 hours. Yeah. Then it says main plus sides 84.5, and completionist
longer than that.
Completionist is 139.
Yeah. So
I don't know what all styles means. Maybe that's like an average.
Where
it says 82, so maybe some that's where I'll be in that range. I'll probably because I'm not gonna do all the side content. So somewhere
You
between
heard it here first. He says here now he's not going to do all
Yeah.
the side content
Yeah.
next week. I was
Yeah.
wrong.
It's not gonna
I
happen.
put-
It's not gonna happen.
I spent the whole week playing
All
Persona.
right.
Done it.
So I'll be somewhere between I imagine the 64 and 84 hours, 68 and 84. We'll see.
Yeah, well, we'll get an update next week. Obviously, Carl will be telling us how far along he is into Persona
Well,
4
all right,
Golden.
let's compare Persona 5 real quick. One that says main story 101, main plus sides 123, and I did 127. So I did the full on that. But I'm moving I think at a faster pace in this game, and I'm probably not going to do all the side.
Oh, just wait till the wall hits and you got to grind 30 levels.
Yeah.
I hope not. I don't
All
mind
right.
grinding this. Yeah.
All right, so it's time for some programming notes, of course, along with the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast, and of course our extra takes that we do here. We also do, of course, entertainment and pop culture related content, and of course, this coming week we have the season finales of The Mandalorian. Of course, Burley and I, we're going to be doing a recap episode of the final episode coming up, which is airing this coming Wednesday.
You mean Bo-Katan show?
Of course, the Bo-Katan show. Bo-Katan Crease, Burley, yes. The Bo-Katan Crease show.
She is still the Mandalorian, right?
That's right. She is a Mandalorian. so Din Djarin is not the only Mandalorian for the show now. Yeah. So we have that. This is the way. And then, of course, our Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 10, the season finale, the final season episode is coming out. Series finale is coming out on Thursday. We're going to be doing a recap episode of that. And, of course, I will be throwing up a sneak peek clip of the episode when it comes out, as well as some sneak peek images from the episode. So stay tuned for those on the Arena Productions. So, yeah, Star Trek Picard, the final season, the final episode is airing this coming Thursday. So Burley and I will be doing our recap episode of that as well. And it's been a fun ride this season for that. So we're really excited and looking forward to bringing that to you here on the Arena Productions. So stay tuned for that. So to end our episode, it's time for our indie recording artist spotlight. So this week's spotlight is on Daisy Chain. Arizona native Daisy Chain ranges sonically from bubblegum pop to stripped piano ballads, leaning into her emotions to create music covering a wide spectrum of human experience. Her songs cover everything from loss to envy to infatuation. From the title song of her album called Magic, featuring the Wild Cards. So this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 129. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. We hope to catch you in the next episode next week. So take care, everyone, and enjoy the outro. Peace out.
You're something beautiful, electric chemical. You take my breath away, feel my emotions push and pull. Shooting stars in your eyes, you're bringing me to life. Love how you say my name, you make it feel like summertime. When you reach out your hand, I find myself again. Electric wonderland, no, I just can't get enough. You feel like magic, magic. Just one touch, my God, I gotta have it. You feel like magic, magic. You know you feel like magic. You know you feel like magic. You know you feel like magic, magic. Dance in the living room, can't stop looking at you. The way you're moving, I'm watching all of my dreams come true.